Welcome to Coach Taylor's class videos, and today we're going to talk about writing linear transformations. So we need to review a few key concepts from this unit and from our last set of notes. So first and foremost, what is slope-intercept form? It is, oh, my pen just died. Give me 2 seconds. It is y equals mx plus b. We know that our rate of change is the same thing as our m, which equals our slope, which equals our rise over run. Again, this shouldn't say m, it should say b. I know that my b is my y-intercept. So from last notes, a couple of things that we need to remember. We remember that the parent function is f of x equals x. Our slope is 1. Our b or our y-intercept is 0. So if we have a transformation and the y-intercept changes, if it's a plus 3, that's going to be a vertical shift up. Whereas if it's minus 3, it's going to be a vertical shift down. And then we know that for our transformations of slope, we know that if our m is negative, that equals reflected. If our m is greater than 1, that's going to be more steep or steeper. And if our m is less than 1, it's going to be less steep. And so those are the basic transformations that we will see as we are doing linear transformations. So when we're looking at linear transformations and trying to see how things change, there's a couple of things that we need to be looking for. The first thing that we need to know is we need to remember what our parent function is, and our parent function is f of x equals x. And then what we need to do is we need to compare our f of x to our g of x. So if I'm looking at this graph right here, I see that the b of this line is -4. And if I were to pay attention to the slope, it goes up 1, 2, over 1, 2. So my m is 1. So the only thing that changes from my parent function, because remember my parent function, the b is 0, the m is a positive 1. So the only thing that has changed between these two functions is my y-intercept. My y-intercept is now -4 instead of 0. So anytime I'm writing my transformations and my slope stays the same, I'm going to write g equals f of x. Because I know that f of x is x, my slope hasn't changed, so it's going to stay the same. And then for my b, I'm going to write -4. So my transformation that happened was g equals f of x minus 4, and that transformation means that it shifted down 3, or a vertical shift down 3 was the transformation that occurred. So in this next one, I have to pay real close attention to this is my f of x. So I'm going to retrace it here in black, and I know that f of x equals x. Its m is 1, its b equals 0. So now I'm going to retrace my g of x line in blue just to make it a little bit easier to see. So what I notice about this is my b is still 0 because both of them cross the y-axis at the origin. Now I need to look at the slope. So we go up 1 over 1, 2, 3 before we come across that next point. So if my slope is rise over run, I have a rise of 1. I have a run of 3. So my slope is 1/3. So g of x is going to be 1/3 f of x, and because my b is still 0, there is nothing to change there. And just a real quick reminder that this right here is the exact same thing as saying y equals 1/3 x. The only thing that's changing is that instead of writing x, we're writing f of x, and instead of writing y, we're writing g of x. All right, so let's look at these two lines here. And again, I'm going to redraw some of them just to make it a little bit easier to see. So f of x is always equal to x. That is my parent function. My slope is 1. My y-intercept is 0. So now I need to look at my g of x line. So if I look at my g of x line, my y-intercept is b. My slope, let's look at slope. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have a -4 rise and I have a 4 run. So -4 over 4 is the same thing as -1. So what this means is that my line is now reflected because I have a negative slope. So g of x is going to equal a negative f of x. And a quick reminder that this is the same thing as writing y equals negative x. They are the exact same thing. We're just using one with function or transformation notation. All right, our last problem. So again, f of x is this one right here. And I'm going to rewrite my parent function, which is f of x equals x. My m is 1. My b is 0. So if I graph my g of x line, its y-intercept is still 0, but now let's look at the slope. So if I go up, these are technically 0.5, so that's going up 1, which makes this my next point. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1 rise, 4 run, so my slope equals 1/4. So when I write my transformation, g of x equals 1/4 f of x. And again, a quick reminder, this is the same thing as writing y equals 1/4 x. The above way is just the more correct way when we use function and transformation notation. All right, that's all I've got for you.